Aloha, it's Katie, and today I'm finally answering a popular question I always get asked. How do you study abroad? Especially if you don't think your family can afford it, how can you get enough financial aid to attend your dream school? I'm interviewing some inspiring students from local public high schools here in the Philippines to share how they got funding to attend top US colleges and how you can too. Also, if you live in the Philippines and want to stay till the end because I'm sharing a super special opportunity for you to get personalized help from students like these who are successfully studying abroad. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Christine.
I'm Chino.
I'm Nina. I received 60,000.
I received $30,000 US dollars.
I got a scholarship of $23,000. I think it's crucial to really do your research, and through your research you'll realize how it's possible to get huge financial aid packages from universities. A lot of good universities abroad offer really comprehensive financial aid packages to deserving students.
There are a lot of international scholarships available for students like us because US schools also want an element of diversity. So there's an element of having international students. So there are scholarships available, and you don't have to be a US citizen just to be able to avail for those. You just have to do your research, and if you look at the US school's website, just check if they have scholarships available.
I think you should absolutely go for it because I always thought that I had zero chance, like not just because I couldn't pay, but because I always thought that I wasn't good enough. But really, you'll never know if you never try. So just go for it. In Minnesota, they actually reached out to me. I think it's probably because of my SAT scores. They offered me free application fee at first. I actually had no plans of applying, but because of the free application fee, I grabbed the opportunity. I just indicated in my application that I intended to pursue merit-based financial aid, and the merit-based financial aid I had was the Global Excellence Scholar Program.
For the Illinois Tech scholarship, it's just in the commonapp. There's a segment applying for merit-based aid. So I just checked that option. And then I submitted during the early action cycle. The early action cycle ended December 1. I submitted November 30 and I got my result by December 7. I think it's a good idea to apply early action of your school so you can get a gauge of if you have scholarship or financial aid already as early as December.
I mainly use the CSS profile. Almost all of the colleges I apply to, they accept the CSS profile, which is the College Scholarship Service Profile. It's like a common app, but for financial aid. It's very comprehensive. It asks for your parents' income, your own income, their assets. The main difference between the ISPA and the CSS profile is that you have to convert your statements into dollars. In some cases, they're gonna ask you for additional documentation. So that means you need to have a bank statement prepared or an affidavit of support. The college board themselves, they don't really offer waivers to international students, but luckily our school offered to reimburse our payment for one SAT testing. I looked into college's website. I read through Quora a lot. So yeah, it really helped me.
Google. So, no, honestly, it works. Like you can just Google, you can search international scholarships, Filipino kids, and then just search the amount. It actually pops up some results.
Applying to college abroad was like always a distant dream until I attended this local college conference, and then that's when the dream started to materialize because that's where I got familiar with the process. And there are a lot of talks for people who know absolutely nothing. If you're not able to go to these events, you can always search online because there are so many comprehensive blogs out there that tell you about these things. And if you know somebody who's familiar or someone from this institution that you know sends a lot of people abroad, you can like look it up and maybe email a counselor because that's what I did. Apply early to state universities. I realized that it was possible if you apply early because you have less competition and colleges may think that you're really passionate about the school and you're really serious about applying. I think international students really have to know how to use their backgrounds and motivations to appeal to the need for diversity of colleges. And it's important to also do that without overcapitalizing on it. It's really helpful to be very specific on your application what you want to do with the education you get from that university.
One of the things I learned from applying is that the essays are a very important tool in your application, because this essay is what allows admissions counselors and admissions officers to be able to see what kind of person you are, to see that you're a person worth investing in. Start your essays really early so that you can have it proofread by peers and even teachers, so that you can maximize this asset.
I got these tips from someone who also applied for financial aid and got a really good package. You should list all your sources of income, so don't spare anything. Make sure the numbers add up. Make sure that you can contribute a realistic amount, not too high but also not too low, because colleges really appreciate it when you can at least contribute some amount to the cost of attendance. My highest total score is 1530. My GPA was a 4.0.
Combined score of 1,460. The estimated GPA is around 3.5.
The combined score is 1,560. 4.0.
I had a lot of leadership and community service involvement. I also did some volunteering. For athletics, I played ultimate frisbee. I had a few international math contests. I went to a few summer college programs abroad.
Also, one of my primary extracurricular activities is working as an official facilitator for the Maker Lab. I assist the tech unit in managing and maintaining the equipment, as well as teaching other students how to handle the equipment. We were contracted by the Department of Science and Technology to make a few models of the Diwata 1 and 2 model of the satellite. We used 3D printing and laser cutting. We were only given the specs and the outdoor design. All the individual designs and markings we created from scratch, and then we modeled it after the scaled down specs of the original satellites. These works were also featured in the National Science and Technology Week and the local Manila Maker Fair. I'm part of the physics team where we go to local competitions.
My activities, they mainly revolve around science and art and just creation in general. Right now, I'm running a small nonprofit. We're just a group of students from my school who intend to promote science education, especially in engineering and creation outside our school. And aside from that, I am a member of the New York Academy of Sciences. I sometimes take commissions to fund my research projects, and I've held several leadership positions in committees in my school.
Youth Excellence in Science Award given by the Department of Science and Technology. So I also put my international math contest and distinctions. And I was nominated by the Quezon City Club for the Zonta International Young Women in Public Affairs Award.
Earlier last year, I joined an interdisciplinary science quiz bee where our team won the gold medal. I have achieved the director's list for the school several times.
I went to this science immersion program in a graduate university in Japan. In the end, I got an individual award for being the most outstanding student. I also put my bronze medal at the International Junior Science Olympiad. I won that in 10th grade. I put my perfect score at the Australian National Chemistry Quiz. My old research project was presented at the International Science Youth Forum in 11th grade. I also put a national award for an essay writing contest. I got like 3rd place.
For most of my supplements, I wrote about summer internship experience I had at a local startup company. During that summer, I learned a lot of technical skills. But beyond that, I think what I emphasize more on my essays is the field work I did during that internship. So I went to job fairs to interview like potential manpower partners for the company. I went to the slums to give out job flyers for those who wanted to apply. My internship experience made me realize how important technology and innovation is to really improve the living conditions of a country. So from there, I got inspired to build my own startup when I go back home.
Also, for my essay, I chose the prompt about facing a setback. Before, in my early years of high school, I was really involved in frisbee. It was everything to me. So all of my free time I spent playing on the field, practicing, training. Until at the end of grade 10, I was dropped from the team to make room for newer, more experienced, younger players. After that, I felt a large chunk of who I was lost because I had attached so much meaning to it. I wouldn't have been very active in the Maker Lab or part of the physics team if I had not been dropped from the team. And I built on this as a learning experience.
For my common app, I just talked about my life growing up. There were a lot of things that I didn't understand until I grew older, and it became harder for me to understand like my family background, my socioeconomic background, especially since I got surrounded by so many people who are not like me. Overall, made me a more empathetic person. Then I just related it to how I understand my situation now.
I think the University of Minnesota really saw how I really made the most out of high school and how I was really determined to pursue studies abroad.
I like to think that it's a combination of extracurricular and academic achievement in and out of the school. And that my track record shows that I'm willing to put effort into the things I really like doing.
I think it was mostly my SAT score and my grades. But I like to think that, of course, like my essays also helped, and the fact that I really focused on making myself like a pointy applicant.
So those were the interviews. Now, this is the opportunity I was talking about earlier. If you're from the Philippines and you're interested in applying abroad, Philip has a really great opportunity for you guys to get connected to some students who can help you on your application. So, how can people get involved, and what is your organization about?
Hi, I'm Philip, and I'm part of a non-profit
You
organization
co-founded it.
called Cause Philippines, and we basically help public school students primarily obtain and maximize scholarship opportunities in the USA. To get involved, just like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram, and we'll
Link
be
down below.
posting all the cool events that we'll be doing. This is just our first year of operations, but our mentees have already been offered over $1 million in scholarships and aid.
Wow.
So we're
You can be
looking
a part of
forward
it.
to expanding it more. And if you want Cause Philippines to visit your school, just send us a
Ooh,
message on our
wow.
Facebook page, Cause Philippines, or DM us on Instagram, also Cause Philippines.
Yeah, and they'll go to your school, talk about the application process, and sometimes even host workshops. So
Yep.
they'll look over your essays, give you top quality feedback. Make sure to check that out in the link below. That was the video. Thank you to all these lovely people for joining. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below for more college videos, or comment if you want more. Also, I'll link all of Cause and other websites they talked about in the description box. Click the top right eye to watch more videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week with another new video. Bye, guys!